Hi, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day weekend. Thanks for letting us be part of your very special celebration. It's a real honor. We've got an incredible menu for you tonight. This is probably my favorite menu that we've ever done. Really beautiful luxury products to mark an important celebration while we're still all distance. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I've taken the liberty of putting the braised lamb shank in the oven a few minutes ago so that we can speed up the video and we can show you all the rest of the stuff. There's more pots tonight, but actually it's a really simple menu. We just have a lot of components and we want to make sure that this menu sings for you. So I'm going to get started on the appetizer. So we've got some salted water that is simmering in the back for our raviolo. I've got our leek sauce that is warming up slowly on the stovetop. And then, yeah, we have our watercress and snap peas. In the instructions actually that were just packed, unfortunately, we didn't mention the snap peas and what to do with them. So you just mix it in with the watercress, some salt and pepper, and give it a little stir. All right, so the raviolo is just going to take a couple minutes, 4 minutes in fact. So let's drop those guys in there right now. And we've got some luxury ingredients here, lobster and foie gras in it. Something really special, very rich. And if you ordered the wine pairing this week, which hopefully you did, it is fantastic. This is one of my favorite wines, the Brut Rosé 2017 from 2027 vineyards. So right on the back, it says only 155 cases of this wine made. It's got this gorgeous coppery hue. I just love rosé bubbly, and this is probably the best from Canada. You will love it. And gorgeous with the raviolo. Don't forget to add a little bit of salt to your boiling water. Okay, so next, raviolo first, followed by watercress, garnished with marinated pearl onions, and the tempanade, which is going to be room temperature. So super easy there. I think I'm going to go ahead and plate dessert while that's working. We've got such an amazing dessert for you. I'm just going to use my hands here. Just be delicate with them. And the dessert is all complete in this one box. So dark chocolate mousse inside, and it's got the crumble in there. There's about 16 ingredients actually, but it is fantastic. Actually, for some reason we overwrote it, so we're going to send an email out with these instructions, and we're going to include all of the ingredients there. I always like a little bit of garnish. And so I just grabbed some blueberries from the fridge, but you can use anything. If you got some raspberries, you got something red in the fridge, even a little apple slice is fun for the coloring, but it's just an amazing dessert. So there's our chocolate dessert for afterwards. You're gonna love the differences in textures and flavors. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. So while the appetizer is going, we wanna make sure that our sauce Hussard is on a low simmer, that our Robuchon potatoes, which are incredibly decadent, are also warming up on low, but with a lid because you want to keep the moisture in there. Now, for those of you who don't know, have not experienced the joys of Robuchon potatoes, this is named after the famous French chef Jules Robuchon, who had many Michelin stars. And some people say that his potatoes were half potato and half butter. It is a very decadent thing. He died a little bit early, and I even heard that his Robuchon potatoes made him die an early death and the rest of us a little bit fatter. So every once in a while, you just got to have a decadent meal, and this is definitely one of them. So the leek sauce is bubbling away nicely. I've got my one pan for the main course veg almost there. And I know that our raviolo is almost done, so let me turn that guy off. Now you can do a couple different things. You can put it in a colander to drain it. is you don't want the water going on the plate, or you can just put it on a second plate in order to have the water sort of drain off there. And Chef Rich says, just put it down on the plate, a single jumbo raviolo, handmade by our amazing chefs at Becta this week. And then next, the watercress and the snap peas for some color and some crunch and some freshness. All right. And next up, we've got the pearl onions and the tapenade. I'm going to suggest the tapenade first because the onions are just, they're beautiful. They look like rose petals. So they're going to sort of drop around. I'm going to call an audible right here. I'm going to suggest that the rose petals, the pearl onions, go on right at the end after the leek sauce, which is going to go around the raviolo. Now, whoever is finishing this dish at home for their spouse is going to look like a superstar, because this is a sexy dish. And then when you cut open the raviolo, make sure to get some of that leek sauce in every bite. If you got a rim on your plate, make sure to give it a little wipe, and it all stays inside the center ring. This is one good looking dish. Make sure to turn that guy off. All right, paper towels for wiping. One little secret restaurant trick. We have these linen-like napkins that are a little bit thicker than paper towels, and we soak them in vinegar, and it allows us to really clean up the plates nicely. So something if you want to get super restaurant fancy at home, you can do. I, of course, am not doing that tonight. Maybe I will in the future. People tell me that they like when they get restaurant tips. All right, and don't forget the pretty rose petals. Man, this looks like Chef Rich plated it himself. I don't want to take any credit for it. I want to give him the credit because it was such a well thought out dish. And it's not difficult, but it looks incredible. Wow. So here's our raviolo with lobster and foie gras, black olive tapenade, watercress, snap peas, and those beautiful pickled pearl onion that look like rose petals. All right, main course. So again, give that stir a little bit on the Robuchon potatoes. And on the sauce sard, I'm going to even reduce that down a little bit. There we go. And then we have to saute our veg. So as many of you who have watched this before know, I'm a huge fan of grapeseed oil, but you can use canola oil, some neutral oil. And 1 tablespoon per person once they have caramelized about 5 minutes. So we're going to do the mushrooms first. I'm going to turn this up. And the pan is already a little hot. A little seasoning, salt and pepper. And while that's going on, I'm going to turbo boost it a little bit because I got gas just to catch up. I'm going to talk about the red wine. So we got 72 bottles of this really special Tuscan red, and we sold out. So some of you are going to be getting a different amazing Tuscan red. Your description should be on there. So I'm going to talk about both of them. The first one is an IGT 100% Sangiovese, and it's got a crown cap on it, like a beer cap, because it's a really fresh style of Sangiovese. Um, yeah, the description is in there. Connor painted a huge paragraph story about the winemaker and how it came to be and whatnot. It's pretty cool. I've never seen wine with a crown cap before of this quality. Um, and that's all the wine that came into Ontario. Because we had more meals to sell, we grabbed one of my all-time favorites that shows up in some of our more premium curated by Becta wine packages. And that's the one I'm drinking tonight. It's the Capazano, Barco Real di Carmagnano. Also from Tuscany, a little bit older, 2017, and some Cabernet in this one as well. So the common denominator on these wines is that Sangiovese is a high acid red, and because of the braised lamb, the red wine braised lamb, it builds up glutamic acid, and so you need acid in your wine to deal with the acid in the food, and then the wine becomes more sumptuous in your mouth, and then the food becomes less fatty, and it's just a gorgeous marriage, and that's why good wine paired well with the food is really key. Okay, mushrooms are looking good. I've got some color to them. Next step, I believe, is going to be adding the carrots to reheat. Got these gorgeous heirloom carrots. Oh, by the way, if some of you have watched our videos in the past, and you must be wondering, hey, why are you not wearing your Curated by Becta t-shirt? Well, to be honest, this is my third Curated by Becta video this week, so I only have 2 of the Curated by Becta t-shirts. So I had to sub in for a Becta old school. These are the ones that we did when we first opened the restaurant back on Elgin Street, the Elgin 2.0 Becta. Again, a little more seasoning on the veg. Keep that going on. Get rid of this guy. You don't need it anymore. So yeah, I apologize. There's a few more dishes this week, but I promise you it is going to be worth it. And you know what else is exciting? We get to open our dining rooms next week, which I'm super excited about. We get to hire back all of our staff that have been underemployed, especially the servers who have been working really hard with us, filling a ramekins for the Curated by Becta stuff, doing some deliveries, helping out around the restaurants. But you know what? Their best thing is just taking care of guests in our dining room. So can't wait to have them all back. And so we're going to be opening up on Thursday at Play and Becta and Wednesday at Gezellig. And so dinner's only right now. And the staff is so excited. I'm so excited. It's going to be a really, really great week ahead. Maximum 4 people per table and maximum 50 people per restaurant total. So lots of distancing, lots of PPE, lots of all that kind of stuff, which we don't want to talk about over Valentine's Day because, you know what, this is about joy at home. And don't you worry, guys, we're going to continue the Curated by Becta packages for a long, long time, even after the restaurants reopen. All right. The lamb is going to come out in just a second. So we are going to add the kale. Make sure, oh yes, 1 tablespoon of butter per person. I can't believe I forgot the butter, especially beside the Robuchon potatoes. Thankfully, I've got some butter right here. It's a bit of a butter-heavy menu tonight, but you know what? That's what Valentine's for. I'm going to melt that down, and as soon as it's melted, we'll throw the kale in there. Hussard is almost ready. Yeah, the lamb, I've got a little Google timer going on so that it's going to tell me when the lamb is ready. Very handy in the kitchen. All right, butter is melted. Throwing the kale in for the last 2 minutes. It's going to pop a little bit because it's got some water in there. Don't forget, a little more seasoning. I like to season along the way so that everything gets the right amount rather than it just being on the end. Oops. That butter is popping out there, making a mess that I will clean up later. Oh, and I forgot to mention, for those Curated by Becta fans who order a lot from us, we're changing our hours as of next week as well. We're going to move to Wednesday to Sunday because we figure people have a little more time to cook on Sundays than they do on Tuesdays. So going forward, please reach out to us. And but Kyle's still going to be in the office Monday through Friday to help you with any phone inquiries. We just got 3 pallets of boxes today because apparently we need a lot of them. Okay, so this is looking good. I believe Chef Rich said Robuchon potatoes down first. Let me check. Yep, followed by the kale, mushroom, carrots, and then top of the lamb, and then finish with the sauce. So yeah, if you see a little bit of oil, that's just the butter sort of coming out of the potatoes. And again, it's a decadent one. But we need to have some decadence in our lives right now because we have such little with our stay-at-home orders, which are kind of being lifted next week. Hey, Google, off. There's my lamb. Perfect timing. Now this guy off. So some kale. Mushrooms and roasted carrots. Yeah, try to get a variety of colors in there. And try to leave a bit of a space in the middle, a cradle, if you will, for the lamb. Oh man, I am so excited by this. So our braised lamb shank. Now, we get these from Ontario, and they're about twice as expensive as the New Zealand guys, but they are worth it. The flavor is out of this world. They're a little bigger as well. And if you really want, you can save that lamb jus for later. I like to put it in some brodo or some bone broth that I do. Okay, let me give it a little wipe. And then our sauce fusard. Make sure the lamb is nicely covered. And you've already seasoned the veg. The potato is nicely seasoned. The lamb has been seasoned during the cooking process, but having a little bit of extra sea salt on top is always a good idea because it brings the flavor up. Oh man, this is a good looking dish. Yeah, you don't have to put it around the plate because it's just going to sort of bleed around the plate once you do it. So some finishing salt, as the chefs do in the restaurant. I'm just going to clean up this guy because the sauce ran a little bit. Always want the picture to look amazing. So there is a red wine braised lamb shank done with the decadent Robuchon potatoes, roasted carrots, king rangi mushrooms, sauteed kale, and sauce hussard. Happy Valentine's to you all. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we were really honored that you let us be part of it. So hope to be able to cook and curate for you again, and hope to see you in person real soon too.